This is Josh with Hike Logistics, and my buddy Mike and I are at our trailhead where we are jumping off. We are in Banff National Park in Banff, Canada, in Alberta, and we're going to be here for about a week. Today is July the 4th. Maybe an odd day to go to Canada, I'll grant that. But it's July the 4th, and it is about 4 p.m. This morning we were still back in Kentucky, and so it's been a long day of flying into Toronto and then to Calgary and then getting into Banff and getting on the trail. So just a long day, but we're here finally now. We don't have too far to go today. Well, it's July the 5th, Thursday, and we're hiking along the trail. We're going to Flint's Park tonight. We got several more miles to do yet. Got a good night's rest last night. Slept pretty long, actually. It was quite lovely. Mike's conducting a little bit of business over there on the sat phone, and for today this is his office. It is Friday morning, and we are still at camp where it's probably about 7:30 or so. Didn't get up too awful early this morning. Yesterday was a fairly long day. It was only about 13 miles, but some of the trail was really grueling, and so as a result, by the time we got here, we were pretty bushed. So we were looking forward to a good night's rest, which we got. And got a beautiful campsite here. We are at a place called Flint's Park, and it's kind of in this valley here, and we're surrounded by just incredible views of mountains in all directions. This is much more scenic of a campsite than where we were the night before last. We shared our site with a couple of other hikers that were here last night. So we have no intel on what the trail's like. So if there's a lot of bushwhacking, trail route finding, or a bunch of dead falling over the trail, it could be really slow going, and if that's the case, it's going to put a real damper on our itinerary. So we're hoping for a good day, hoping for not a lot of problems that way, and hopefully we can stay on schedule, knock down our 14. We need to get about a 15er in here in the next couple of days, if at all possible, in order to stay on schedule. So weather's perfect, cool nights, nice days. It's Friday night, and we have made camp. We are in the tent, as you can see. Today was a bit of a long day. There were several places where it is apparent that people have not come here in a while, or at least not very frequently. And so finding the trail is difficult when there is no trail. It rained on us a little today, which was a little bit it wasn't too bad. It was just, you put on your rain gear, and so then you're sweaty inside. And then we stopped a couple hours before we made camp to make dinner because the sun had popped back out and it looked very nice. We found a nice grassy hill, and it started raining again. And so we kind of scarfed down our food and packed everything up because we thought it was going to be blowing in pretty heavy. Turns out once we got back on the trail, it cleared off again.
Just need to get our rain gear on.
Yeah, we just need to put our rain gear on and make it clear off. There were lots of mosquitoes. And by lots of mosquitoes, I mean Lots of mosquitoes. Thousands, millions, nay, billions of mosquitoes. We're going up an old logging road, which means it's got a really nice grade, easy hiking. It's a good morning. Rained on us a little bit at breakfast, kind of ruined our breakfast a little bit, but it's warming up now. Nice cool breeze, clouds are breaking up. When I was planning this trip and deciding where we were going to go and had planned a route based upon what the map looked like, there's not a lot of information about the place we were going to, and so I did what I always do, and that is I called the Park Service and asked to speak to someone who was familiar with the part of the park we were going to, and just get an idea of what the trail conditions would be like. And so they actually transferred me to a backcountry warden. This is, what we would call a ranger back home. I knew that we had at least one big river crossing, and I asked if it would be passable. And he assured me that of course it would be, because the rivers had already hit their peak and were going down, and so it would definitely be passable. Well, here's the ford. That river is roaring down through there, and that is deep. Right out here is as far as I waded out, and I got it up. It was about 3.5 to 4 feet deep right there. What's worse is it is so fast moving you cannot stand up in it. There was a place that I tried to go across, and just getting up to my thighs, I couldn't cross because I couldn't stand up. There's just too much force of the water, and that was without a pack on. So we are not keen to give up. So what we're going to do is we're going to sort of bushwhack on upstream. According to the map, there's a couple of significant tributaries that are not too far from here, and we hope that if we can get up upstream of those, it will reduce the flow of the river that's left enough that maybe it'll be significantly smaller and we can get across safely. Well folks, we have done as we planned, and that is we've hiked upstream, gone around a couple of tributaries, a significant tributary on the north side of the river, and so we are at our best chance, we think, to cross this thing. It's a little bit wider here, marginally slower, and at least a little bit less water, and so we're going to go for it. Mike has done it across already once without a backpack, and he's geared up and ready to be the first one of us across to the other side with a backpack.
If I go in to drink, you know you're here to watch it.
After hours and hours of trying to figure out how to get across, Mike is across. And you can hear his, those are not groans of ecstasy, those are groans of pain from the cold water that feels like, 1,000 knives. We were able to set our chairs up and sit around the fire for a little bit last night, get warm, because it was a little bit chilly last night. After all that bushwhacking yesterday through thick scrub, we're only about 2 or 3 miles behind our schedule. Now, whether we can make that up is going to depend greatly upon what kind of terrain and trail we have today. No way to know because we haven't been on this trail yet. So we're hoping we have good trail and can make pretty good time. Mike, you got any observations, words, comments?
Glad we're on this side of the river.
Hear, hear. Taking our breakfast break. We did not eat breakfast at camp. We just packed up and left. And taking a breakfast break here. Lovely spot, lovely view. We've put in about an hour and a couple of miles worth of trail already. And this is the view from our breakfast table. There's Mike, comfortable in his Helinox chair.
Morning.
Having his coffee. We hiked today from Red Deer Lakes up over Pulsatilla Pass and are now down at Johnston Creek Campground. And it was a monster day. It was about 18 miles, which is a long day by any measure anyway. And throw in a significant mountain pass to go up over, which was really steep. That makes for a really monster day. Oh, but there's one more fun ingredient. Let's take away the trail and let's let you find your way through the woods, climbing and stumbling and tripping and complaining and just trying to fall forward in the right direction. It was awful. It was a truly exhausting day. Once we finally got up over the pass, then the trail was pretty good. In fact, by comparison, it was excellent. Any other observations about the trip and trail?
Avalanches taking out the trees and scrambling over rocks, and it was miserable. But it was a good feeling to go over the pass and hit our stride. So I'm ready to be done. It's been a tiring trip for sure.
Yeah.